I try it?
It's a warm welcome.
I'm going to this way.
Right guys, welcome along. Thank you all for coming. Obviously, primarily we're here to discuss Supporters Club and what you guys want us to do for you. We've also got Billy that's kindly come along, so any football related matters we can fire on Billy. If you don't know any of us, my name's Adam, I'm the chairman of the Supporters Club.
Chris, I'm the vice chair.
We've also got Adam Carter, who's our tech guy, and Robbie, who is Robbie? Yeah.
Linesman.
He likes the linesman.
I do. It's video for
And the goalkeeper.
But we're going to kick things off with the football club side of life. So, anything you want to ask Billy? It's been a different week this week.
10 days, really. 10 days. But firstly, thanks for these gents for letting me go first. My daughters are waiting for me. I've got to get home for bed for school in the morning. We've got a childcare issue tonight. But I'm here, I don't want to let you guys down, so switch it around to be here tonight. So thanks for having me. It's just, I'm open to all questions, not just football questions, but it's been an interesting 10 days, 11 days at this club. One thing I promised from the off was transparency, good or bad. So when things are going great, it's easy to walk around, talk to people, have a joke, have a laugh, and tell you what's going on. If it's good, hey, who doesn't want to get good news? When it's bad, I know in the past people have hit. So I know that people won't want to answer the large questions. They won't want to tell you, it's your club ultimately, tell you what's going on. And that's not me. It's just not me. It's just not the way I am. Good, bad, and different. I'm big enough. I'm not big in height, but I'm big enough, not big enough. I'm sure H will attest to that. To take whatever's going on at the club, and it has been testing, but I've got to just applaud the fans a little bit, because on Tuesday night at HUISC, when we had HUISC here, the feeling around the ground, especially knowing such a well-loved manager left, I was expecting it to maybe underestimate you. I expected it to be a little bit more iffy, and it wasn't. Yeah, it was all together as one. I've got a lot of people ask me if I'm alright, which honestly I am. I'm alright, and just interested, and I was very kind of taken back by the support, but also the confidence. Really, a lot of people saying we think you'll get the decision right, we're comfortable with what you're doing at the club, and we'll back you whatever you do. And that was lovely to hear, because I know in the past, whether it's manager leaving because they decided to leave or they've been sacked at this club, it's not been as nice. And I'm sure a lot of you supporters can attest to that. So thank you to you guys and to the rest of the supporters who are here today for that. But I don't want to dwell too much on Chris. I'm happy to take questions on Chris, but I don't want to dwell too much on it, because it is a new day at this football club. We do have a new man in charge, and that man's Gary Alford. And I'm very, especially after last night's training, and Joe will back this up, he was there, it was great, and I'm so excited, really, really excited. But I'll let you ask the questions and I'll shut up. Yeah, so over to the floor, any questions?
Well, I personally think Gary Alford is the ideal choice. He knows the squad, he's been with us for a good few years. When you listen to him on the pitch, he commands the respect of the players around him. So we give him a chance to prove good before it won't go wrong. If it does, but I think he's a good choice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is Peter Heritage staying?
Yeah, everyone's staying. So the staff are staying. So just to give you an overview on the staff, Gary has brought in John Meany. So Gary Alford as player manager. We'll still have him on the pitch, which I'm sure the last couple of games we could test that we needed on a pitch. So Gary will carry on doing that, and he was aware of how important that was. Brownie will continue as assistant manager. John Meany's coming in as his first team coach. John was, I don't know if anyone knows John, but John's been obviously successful at Worthing, and they got promoted through the playoffs in our league in Gary as joint managers at Worthing. John's also at Crawley and headed up their development side, and also was a first team coach there just over a year ago as well. John's an A licensed coach, just like Brownie as well, so we've got two top coaches at this football club. So on the grass coaching at this club is top level. The rest of the staff, Ben Cornelius, goalkeeping coach, will be staying. P Heritage, that's another first team coach that is staying, it's going nowhere. His jokes will be forever around this club. It's great for us. Some of them you don't want to hear, but people still tell you, which is the thing. The rest of the staff will be around as well, you know, whether that's James Crossan, Giuseppe, Bobby, the fitness coach. We've got so many people, but we've got such great staff here, and we're lucky that they don't believe. Dane's definitely not going anywhere, so Dane goes, I think we're over for trouble cleaning the lines, Lizzo, Kitman, a lot. So I think Dane, yeah, I think it's a given that Dane will be here. I think Dane will be here longer than all of us. It's just the truth of the matter. But yeah, no, really excited. People will be here, and it's got great, part of the great staff and players and clubs.
What was the thinking with Gary Elphick?
Right, so I had 97 applicants for the job. Whoa. Which we didn't put an advert saying first team manager wanted. It was obvious we needed the first team manager, but with 97 applicants, and probably out of that, 30 to 40 would have been managers. None of you would have been shocked if they were managers. There were decent applicants. We had applicants from league football, we had applicants from the National League, applicants in our league, I won't say who, for their club's sake. But we were winning the league and they weren't. We had applicants from abroad. We had an current international manager applying. Not a top 20, top 30, but an international manager or with fantastic National League pedigree. But the reason we narrowed it down and went and interviewed 4 managers for the job. And from that, we looked at it, and all 4 were fantastic. They'll give all 4 the credit. The meetings went well, the interviews went well, and any of them could have got the job. But with Gary, it wasn't just Gary. Right? It was Brown, it was John Meany, it was the package. And Chris has done a fantastic job at this club. And he would have never been let go. We would have continued to back him, even in the sticky patch that we kind of found ourselves in. But maybe we needed this. Maybe we needed this little bit of a change to freshen things up here. And I think with the reason I went for the Gary appointment wasn't because the others weren't suitable, it was because Gary does know this style. Gary's one of these, he got promoted out of this level of football. He knows what it takes. He commands respect across the game. His contacts are fast. John Meany's contacts are fast. And Brownie will now be part of that, learning a little bit differently to what he's learning with Chris, which will make Brownie an even bigger cog in Hastings United machine, not just now, but in the future as well. So I looked at it as not painful. What do we need to do? Let's get someone in and rip it all up, get rid of 7, 8 players, bring 7 or 8 in. I'm not interested. We're not a million miles off. Losing a game or 2 of football doesn't mean we're crap overnight. I don't believe in that, and I'm patient enough to trust what we've got. Gaz understands what we need, and we do need to go out and get some players, and trust me, we've been doing that this week. Whether it's making offers for players, or putting 7-day letters in, or potential some loans from the Football League clubs. there'll be a couple of fresh faces around the club over the next 7 to 10 days. But we've got to believe in what we've got here. We really have. It's just we need to tweak a few things. And last night was a real eye-opener for me to see how we're going to tweak things. And I think the supporters will be happy with how we want to play under Gary Elphick.
Is there any minimum standards that he's got to achieve this season or anything like that?
We don't really leave these out. Look, it's not a rebuild, so, and Gaz knows that. Gaz isn't coming into this job thinking he's got 2-3 years to get it right. He knows that we've got to get it right this year. So there's no point of pretending there's no pressure. There is, on me, on the staff and players. Pressure on our, and we're aware of that, and demands that we do our absolute best to be in the running for the league this year. And that's the game, that's the aim. But at the same time, that Chris, is there a minimum he doesn't achieve to really be at? I think we're a little different this football club, the way we run. I think it's a little bit based on the variables when you look at what happens. Hold on, if we, I don't know, say we finish second by a point, we're in the playoffs and we lose to a 92nd minute winner, come on, like, you know, if we're not in the running at all, then there is a problem. And in the summer we'll have to look at that. But I don't think we need to worry about getting that. I think Gary, John, Gary, Brownie and John, I think are, they could be over a very long time.
And the players, how do they react to the difference?
Well, the big distraction for me isn't what you say or how you smile when news comes in. I think the big distraction is what you're going to see Saturday. So, from what I saw last night, the players are very happy. I think they understand from my end why we've done it. And I think they believe in themselves. You know, when Chris will tackle, trust me, it wasn't all going down Chris, oh, we lost Chris. It was, no, I mean, we're still here. We've still got a job to do. We want to win this league. So if they believe in themselves, they'd be looking to Gary as the leader anyway. So putting that together, the reaction's been fantastic. Last night it was brilliant to watch the session and just to see how everyone felt about it. Yeah, the lads are playing hard, the lads are absolutely hard.
We've got some very experienced players.
Yep.
I mean, Jack, Sam Adams, Craig.
Yep.
I mean, in that dressing room to support Gary Elphick.
Yep.
I think there's some very experienced heads in there.
No, I agree. And I think not only experience, know-how, like Sony's won promotions, he's been there and done it. Sammy knows what Hastings means to Hastings United supporters. I think that's really, really important. Same as Dicko. You look at Dave Martin, played in the Championship. I think Dave started well. I think he's not really hit, and I'm not speaking out of term, but I don't think he's hit. What we've seen, we've not seen best from Dave Martin yet, I don't think. I think we will. I think the experience is there, but we've also got incredible youngsters, and it's the balance. It's about seeing them come through, but not at the expense of winning or getting promotion this year. Number one aim this year is promotion, and if that's at the expense of more academy players making first team appearances this year, that's the way it is. And I think we want a team of winners, and I think the young lads will learn from that. And we've got so many 18s, 19s and 23 games, they're not going to not get games on, that's for sure.
The problem with the successful academy side is that these lads are all ambitious, they want to move on. Just like a young manager does, don't they? You end up where you're a victim of your own success, don't you? Because you lose them eventually, they want to move on.
Yeah, true. I think
Which is frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, I think our retention of players has been pretty decent. I think some that have gone out and tasted first team experience elsewhere have come back. So I'll give you an example. James Hall, come from the academy, got into the 23s, done alright, wasn't rated into the first team at the time, decided to go and look for elsewhere, Saltine threw silly money at him, he went off to Saltine for a bit, that all crumbled at Saltine at the time, then flitted around a bit, went to Eastbourne Town, scoring a hat ton of goals in the league below us, but he wanted to come back to Hastings, because he wanted to be in the environment here, and understood actually, my learning curve, maybe I was a little bit too quick to want to get out the door. And he's not the only one, there's been 2 or 3 that have gone out the door and come back in. And I think that's testament to the staff and what we do. And that will continue. But the young players, if they're good enough, they get an opportunity. And that's been the case. If you look at it since I've been here, and way before I was here. So, Ollie Black, Academy lads. Now, would you imagine starting having about Ollie Black in the team? Probably not at the moment. Okay, you've got the likes of Adam Lovett coming through. Obviously, David came through. Right now, we've got Freddie Legg, James Hull, Tom Chalmers, obviously another one that we expect to be in 11 if he's fit. We've got Jack Bates, who's really exciting us at the moment, young lad coming through. So we've got those players on the cusp now getting their opportunities, like they have done this year. But at the same time, they understand they're at a club that winning is probably the strongest part of our culture, and what we want to keep, we don't want to lose, is that we are winners. And they understand that as we're winners, they need to bide their time a little bit. They're all young lads, all 16, 17, 18, 19, they're young. So bide your time, take your time. If we think it's best that you go out on loan and get first and score in the senior game, for example, Harvey Mapstone is over at Eastbourne United, doing incredibly well, centre half for them at the moment. Great, there's a couple of other lads out at other clubs as well, Little Common, JJ Walker, another young lad at Little Common. It's about tailoring it for what we think is the best development of our players. If the players don't buy into that, then whilst we love them and the door's open here, then go out, go and find your own thing and do what you want to do. But for us, trust the process, trust what we're doing. It's bigger than just the first team, it's a culture, and be part of it.
Talking about Dawes, how is Lloyd Dawes?
Where's he at?
Could be like a new player with him.
Again.
Dawsey is the biggest frustration for us because on that pitch he is probably the best player in the league, which is, and I'll go into where he's at, but I just want to kind of put a bit of light on him as a person. People think, big time Charlie, not playing, wasting time having him around and that stuff. Lloyd Dawes is desperate to do well for Hastings United. He's desperate to do well for you lot. When he came on, he got injured and came off, he was distraught, absolutely distraught. Offered his didn't want to get paid for that week. Yeah, that's the character you're talking now. And really he's desperate to get on that pitch. To the point, he maybe shouldn't have been on that pitch that day. He should have maybe not been on the pitch 3 or 4 weeks earlier when he came back from injury that time. Gary Elphick knows Lloyd Dawes better than most. Okay, so now we've got a manager that knows when Dawsey says he's fit, give him a week. Right?
Alright.
So Dawsey is very, very close, but Dawsey needs to be managed right, okay? Because he's a player that can be a massive, massive difference for us. There's no point us throwing him straight in, playing 20 minutes and not playing for 4 weeks. We need to get him fit properly and have a nice run of games. And over the next 3-4 weeks, we might see him getting around it. But around Christmas and then the big run-in, Lloyd Dawes will be unleashed.
Good.
So we'll feel like a new sign.
I don't think there's any resentment amongst supporters about him not being out there.
No, it's just frustration.
It's frustration.
Yeah.
We all yak behind the goal about it. Oh Christ! When we've seen him, he's looked really good, but he's
Not enough.
He gets cropped again, you know. When are we going to get him out there?
No,
There's no resentment, I don't think.
No, I don't think there is. I agree with you. I just think sometimes easy to get frustrated. Like, don't get me wrong, when you went down, I was like, great, he's injured again.
Yeah.
Keyword again. But I don't know, I think the lads are going to pay dividends for us
Yeah.
over the next year.
It does look good when you see him. It does look
He
good.
gets the ball, just runs at a player.
Yeah.
And it,
Can't wait to see him out there. Good feet.
and he's an absolute character as well, so he's good to have around us.
I do think that one of the things that seems to me, is watching the game, to be happening more at the moment, is the interesting, a lot of places keep breaking down. We're not, you know, we were masters of one-touch football at the beginning of the season. That doesn't seem to be happening so much now. Don't seem to be, you know, it's almost like the players I used to play wheelchair basketball, and the players who knew exactly when all the other players were on the pitch, you know, on the ground. That doesn't seem to me to be happening.
I
You
think,
know, people misplacing passes or whatever.
I think that
Not
comes
noticing
from,
where people are.
yeah, I think that comes from a little bit, I would say Chris and Ian wants to don't speak good or bad, I'm not interested in it. But I don't really want to speak too much really about Aggies tactics and stuff, but he was playing a certain way away from home, and we were getting results that way, and it wasn't as pretty as you're used to, right? It was shut it long, let's play off the scraps, and it was working. So I think the lads have been caught in a little bit of a identity, it's hard to say, an identity crisis maybe, but that's been well put right. That's been well put right. That's not good. Without doubt, the style of playing and I don't want to say too much now because if on Saturday we get absolutely bothered. And look, we're not going to get. I'm not judging Gary and the team on a training evening and one game, but I think what they want to implement should keep everyone off their seats. Yeah.
Have you given his brother a call yet? Elphick Partnership with Bank?
Oh well, you know. I don't guess it probably around, but we've been out there. I think what we've been out there looking for. If we get one I really want, then I think you'll be very, very happy. But we're out there and we're being active and knocking on doors and upsetting other chairmen, so which is my job. Well, yeah, no Tommy Elphick.
Got one other question that's been handed in. I think it's probably for you about the women's team. There's got to be about having a bigger coach for ladies matches for people who don't drive. Do we actually have a coach?
No, we haven't closed. The women's do travel on the games and coaches. The issue has been, so actually, should we talk about coach travel? I think it's worth talking about.
It's handy.
No, I think it's worth talking about. It's something. So, coach travel this year, it runs at loss. So the club are fronting a loss every week on travel, which is fine. Like for me, it's a loss leader, gets you lot there. Massively important. Ones who need to get to games, however, it would be great to see it full. It would be because it helps pay for it. Ultimately, sometimes we've been busy and great. It's like okay, it's just about broke even, but we try to keep the price as low as possible to make it attractive. If it was a bit higher, then it makes it more financially feasible. But for me, I don't mind us losing money in areas of the football club if it helps the support base. So price-wise, and I'm sure that's a question that probably comes up. We went for the price that we've gone for. And I know I've knocked it down for special games at times just because ultimately I want to get everyone at the game, right? It's in my nature to try and do as much as possible. But the percentage of the sports club members based on the price is literally just, it's marginal, but unfortunately I can't do anything really about that at the moment because if I go less, then the bills will tally up, and I won't be able to get you that AC winger that we want. So it's a balancing act, and bear with us this year. We want it to be bigger. I think there's been questions about some coach etiquette sometimes, and I think supporters, I really believe with the supporters, you've got to manage yourselves, have respect for each other, because you do here, so why don't we away? You've got to respect each other. So if I hear of issues and they get raised to me, I pass them to Pat, because Pat deals with that side for me, and I'm sure I think Pat went on coach, right? And, yeah, so Pat will go in coach. I like to drive, as you all know, and that's why I like to get in and get out. But we're mindful that it's always a balance act, but we'll do what we can to make it the most kind of.
So I'm not trying to put you on the spot,
Yeah, of course.
but if that's the case, given that our mission as a supporters club is to try and make membership of supporters club as attractive to the supporters as possible, and you can't give us as much of a discount as ideally we'd like.
Yeah.
Does that mean we need to have a conversation about whether you can give discounts, our members discounts on other things? Because obviously, I understand how it works, the more of something you buy,
Yeah.
If the discount is
Yeah.
then the more income.
Well, for me,
But it's a constant balance.
I think the discounts are balanced out. I think we do as much as we possibly can, and we can do more. And as we grow, we can look at.
I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm saying that if this means
Yeah.
A, we're not getting the benefit that maybe some of our supporters would like, and B, you're barely getting enough to cover your costs, then can we look at putting somewhere?
Potentially,
Discount somewhere else.
Look,
When you get volume.
yeah, no, but even that, our prices are really, really decent across the board, and I think, and there's been issues where we looked at it and gone, well, we're X a pint, I mean, if you go here or here or here, it's X a pint, or, another thing, and I think, we look at it, with regards to travel, it's poultry's like, £1.50, I think, it's not my head, is difference, it's cost of a master, I did these days, it's not much, but I think the biggest attraction to be part of the supporters club now, whilst discounts were probably the drive, do you mind me saying? Discounts might have been the driving factor in the past. I sign up, get a discount, whatever. I think people want to be part of it because the supporters club, more now than ever, means a lot to the football club. And what I mean by that is your input about what we can do better gets heard, gets listened to. And we will do what we can for the supporters club to make it together and attractive.
That's a perfectly good argument.
But yeah, going back to the actual questions.
I'm skating around.
Yeah, no, with the women's, the truth of the matter is, the interest isn't high enough. For example, to get a larger coach so they can come on with the players, the coach travel the players have now, and it's not done with snobbish, but the travel is quite elite. It's very, very high end. Like I want our players to be as prepared as possible to win a game. And if I'm doing that for the men, you've got to do it for the women. It's as simple as that. It's the way the club run. The equality is massively there. So we do that. So if we then go from the 26 seats to their 41, the gap in price is quite high. So to do that, to get supporters on to come to the women, would only work if I had 10, 15 supporters every single away women's game to travel. Would we want 10, 15 away supporters for every women's game? Absolutely. Absolutely, because the support for the women here has been phenomenal since we started there. It's gone a bit up and down. Sometimes we get good crowds, sometimes we don't. I would like to see more be here because the girls can play, but they can play. Right? They made something close to 620 passes on Sunday. Right? They are a passing football team. They bob it around. It's worth watching. It's worth the £3 admission.
Do you think the women's games are promoted as well as the men's games?
Yeah, I think so. I just think it's a different an interest. I think all is that. I think if you go on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, we give them as much credence as each other. I just check, like we get what anywhere between 100 to 200 people watching. Sometimes it might be a little bit lower, but usually it's around the 100 mark is usually the mark we kind of hit, and that's with a lot of mums with their daughters. We get a lot of the young girls that come from school, which is lovely to see. Like they're really engaged in it. We get a lot of other teams that have games on Sunday coming to scout, which is brilliant because they still have to pay their ticket to get in. But yeah, and we're getting some regulars. You know, you guys are always there. Like Joe helps us out. Guys in the back are always there. You know, I've seen a few regular faces at the women's games. But I don't know. I just think it's something the club's really proud of. And trust me, when they win the league this year, which they will, I'm expecting the last home game to have 500-600 people here watching because we should be supporting it just as much as we support the lads. I get it. Sometimes some plays on Saturday. People want to spend their time with their family on Sunday, go out for Sunday roasting and what have you. I'm still here. So please come and support as much as you can and let's carry on raising the individual women's football.
On that point then, they're sponsored by the golf, aren't they?
Yep.
Hastings
Golf Bench, yeah.
I don't see any advertisement for the women's team there. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
have you not twisted around a little bit that they need to...
That's a really, really good shout, and we've done a few videos for the announcement and also for their stuff around their golf, sort of like their praise golf, like all the championships and stuff and all that, which Luke Ryan came 15th in, wasn't it? Yeah. 15th best in the world, Luke Ryan. Yeah. But for me, there's always more that we can do. Like there's always more. From my end, I need more help. It's not cry for help. I need more help. I need people willing to go, look, I'll do that. I'll get on with that. Yeah, that's it really. On that side of things, we could do more. A bit more support. But saying that, the paper. It's observant and for it's not, because it doesn't put weirdly, Bob Quinn writes an absolute belter of a match report. Ryan Segal writes great match reports for women. Don't ever get into this. See, it's copy and paste. Put it in the paper. They put everything else in. They call me up every week and ask for a quote or put something in about an upcoming game. They don't put match reports in, which I find bizarre. They want to fill space.
Have you considered looking at the independent publications?
They do as well.
Independent press Hastings Online Times.
They come up to games,
Yeah.
they show interest too. But for us,
Yeah, I'm just thinking about whether that's their audience, you know, whether that's...
I think for us, in regards to that, that's not us trying to, like, Simon Lucy will come up, do what Simon did before when he was at the Observer, right? And he was very diligent about local non-league football and grassroots football. He still does a bit now for them, but it's a copy and paste job. By Bob Quinn, here's a report. By Ryan Segal, here's a report. So I think it's not that we're not giving them the tools, we're giving them the tools every week. They put a great picture in. Sometimes you see a picture of Sam Hassler and then a report about the Sussex League. It's like, what are you doing? But I've got all the time well for the reporters.
They've also got a nightmare scenario because if you don't actually buy the paper, it's really not long. It's just pop up to
Well, they're trying to make revenue as much as possible, which is a nightmare. But, and I've got a lot of time for a report there. For example, they knew about Gary Elphick 6-7 hours before it got announced, didn't leak it. And that's a lot of trust there. And they're good guys, like they're covering a lot of papers. So I think it's Arthur's, Paul Woolley, Crawley Gazette, Eastbourne Herald, but it's a lot. Don't even be a job at all.
It's not a local paper anymore, is it?
It's regionalised.
Yeah.
It's a regionalised paper, really.
Just to let you know that on a week-by-week basis, Bob Quinn's reports are being read by about 1,000 individual people.
Brilliant.
On our website.
Yeah, well, they should. They're brilliant.
Yeah, they are.
And they're actually never buy it. They never really buy it. And that's credit to Bob, because his father's running. That's football based on what I'm out there. I think we're the best team since Barcelona. So there you go.
That's it.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah.
With like men's games, I'm just wondering whether we can like advertise for like one or for a couple of games to advertise that if you come to a blokes game, you could come in for the women's game for nothing. Just to try and draw more support in for the women.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That'd be a great idea. And we haven't got, when's our next home game? Women's home game, a week after next.
Next Sunday.
No, the cup game, Sussex Cup, is it? No, is it?
Yeah, we've
so
got
away this week.
We're away AF Acorns this week, and then next week we've got New Haven and the Cup, and then the week after we've got New Haven again in the league.
So double vision then, New Haven's good business, right? Let's do it then. If anyone's here this weekend, New Haven in the Cup, the following Sunday, come for free. Yeah.
Let's do the programme.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll print out Saints so they can give it all out at the home game on Saturday.
Brilliant, shit, that's.
One of the troubles you get when I talk to people about coming and watching the women's game, but they try and put them alongside the men. That never works, not at this level or international level.
I agree.
You know, it's just sheer physicality, both sides.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you're missing out. Come up there and sometimes you see better football than what the men play.
The women's international league showing now, the women's Premier League now.
Strangely, it's a lot of the women won't come and watch them.
Yeah.
We found that.
Well, the funny thing is,
it's like the women, I want to watch women, I want to watch guys.
That's why they send all their husbands down.
That's it. Well, look, and you three are regulars to women's games, so I don't have to tell you how good they are.
Well, I do have a go.
Yeah. Look, our women's team, we should be incredibly proud of this Hastings, right?
Well, they're great.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And they love playing for this club. They love playing for this club. They love they love like being able to interact with the supporters. Like there's a lot of clubs at this level who travelled away and it's been like one man and his dog. It's normally been actually a lot more Hastings United supporters that have travelled to these games and been in the crowd than there has been other teams. The only one that I've seen us ever be like outdone by was the Bromley game, which was their big day out. And we couldn't ruin it for them. But I think for me, it's on us to carry on pushing it hard because it's a big part of the club's future. The club wants to be a national league club with regards to the men's, looking to become a league football club, and the women's ambition is to get into the National League South, and push into the Championship. And we're not actually that far off. Like we've beaten teams in pre-season, and whenever we come against them, teams in the league above. We're flying at, like I think at the start today, we played 11, won 9, scored 38 goals, conceded 5, 7 clean sheets.
Well, it speaks for itself, doesn't
It is what it is. So, yeah, I can't shout it enough, and I do.
It'd be nice to leave the position.
Yeah, just carry on
it?
supporting.
I had comments last week before the game. Oh, they're playing Ashford, we've got no chance against them.
Yeah,
I don't know what the Ashford supporters said at the end.
yeah. 4-0.
They had possibly 2 ladies
Yeah,
that were nippy down the wings.
Yeah.
They were fast.
yeah.
But apart from those 2,
Couldn't get a ball off us, so a few of the Ashton players said after us, they said, do you ever stop passing the ball? Because we just pass it.
Do your own work.
Pass it to death, score goals, and another great moment, a young player for us, Holly Carter, who decided to leave Lewis under 16s last year. She believed in the Hastings United project. She's 16 years of age, scored her first goal for the club on Sunday.
Great goal as well.
We scored so quick Sunday,
Yeah.
goal music wasn't even ready.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even know his goal was before it was Molly's until Sean looked on the line. But, but
Well, it was going out if Sean didn't get it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it.
I have to say, one of the most exciting games to be seen at the Pilot last season was when the ladies won the league.
What's the goal for Tibble?
Great luck.
And that was
Yeah.
a real idea of the game.
Well, being 3-1 down with 15 minutes to go, you expect yourself that you're going to not win the league. And Pellier walked away with it, but yeah, girls came back and you won't see many better goals win the league than Jordan.
Going back to the coach situation,
Yeah.
have you tried local coach companies instead of bringing them from Eastbourne,
Price.
Tunbridge Wells, and wherever?
Yeah, price.
Not 247?
Yeah, not.
No.
Literally, price levels.
I just thought.
It's so frustrating. You would hope that they would want to be involved, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whether there's been issues in the past.
It's 247, I've got a good minibus when we don't get the numbers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 19 on the big coach last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that isn't good.
It's not enough. It's not enough, and it's costing. It's only
People
costing money.
turn up when they say they're going to turn up.
Well, that's the thing. You know, and we looked at it. We tried to do tickets on skill for the coach, and not one ticket was purchased that way because maybe people like the flexibility of it, maybe not, like you say, turning up. And I think but look at your club a little bit. If the club wants to do something for you, you've got to do something for them and turn up.
That's very unfair.
Yeah.
I just thought if they didn't have to come from Eastbourne or
Yeah.
Flingwell or somewhere, it would save on their time.
Well, they charge us from the journey they charge us from the ground to and back.
Really? Oh,
Yeah. And look, they're reasonably priced. You know, 24/7, like you say, they have a nice little minibus, which could be good, but the numbers were going in like that, so that probably wasn't right for us. But there might be times when the 24/7 minibus comes out.
I must say Steve's very good on it.
He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got
You
the
can't
star
lose
with the...
Yeah, he loves it.
You can't lose
He said that he didn't expect for them to get caught by the Hastings United bus, but he fully wants to come to the way.
Then he's behind the help.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's very positive.
Good. That's what we want.
Any thought about actually getting a coach? I mean, are we not in that
Yes. Taran wants to turn
Dave used to drive the coach, didn't he, for us? A little minibus.
Yeah, well, there's one at the college, so we have access to a minibus, but it's a 17-seater. We usually use it for our 23s or 18s for our games like that. Me and Darren talked about getting a bus. When the crisis hit, we were trying to take advantage a little bit, we'll be honest.
Don't get
It's
the
road
electric one, will you, yet?
I'm terrible. If you saw my phone's on 1% battery, so trust me, I'm not the guy to have an electric car, electric bus or anything.
You're not pushing it with...
Have you seen those retro cloud buses that we now have got?
Yeah, I know, great. But with the bus thing, we did look in the COVID times.
No, I saw them on the pier and covered up with them.
Oh, the old stock. Yeah, but they don't get it to games.
They don't get the buttons.
Probably yeah, we did. We looked at it. We wanted to rep like Nova busing. Been terrific really for like travel for the first team, men's and women's. Really support what we do it, but we would love to have our own. Bus, yeah. Wrapped in Hastings colours and the badge logo. But that will come. Right now, we need to focus on frequencies. Anything else?
Did you start putting in the programmes for fixtures for the under 23s and the under 18s?
Yes, we would if they did keep changing week by week, which has been the biggest frustration for us.
Okay.
Is that 1 week we would know what fixtures are, and I've called HR many times and said we've got a game on, and then we ain't got a game on. It's been a bit of a frustration, and with all due respect, it's been a bit of a farce with that league, with the Ishman Development League. Teams pulled out, fixtures were moved. It's been a bit of a nightmare, but we're looking to make sure that there is some stability when we've got stability, and we'll let you know what we're going to do every Monday on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Put out this week at Pilot Field, give you a list of what's going on.
That'd be good, yeah.
So that's going to happen for next week.
Awesome.
Because the 23s aren't playing all month, are they?
No, and I like to travel to 23 games, so yeah, that's why I'm so tired. Trying to find the manager and watching games of football, what I like.
Sleep well, Saturday night.
Well, depends how we get on. I'm pretty sure I can sleep alright. Anything else?
We seem to, looking back at Saturday's game,
Yeah.
which I don't particularly want to, we seem to run out of ideas there.
Yeah.
Plus there was a lot of gamesmanship going on from the opposing
Yeah.
side as well. Was that influential at all in Andrew Brown's 3 games turning into 2 games?
No, not really. Not really. With Brownie, we talked about the reason I gave the 3 games was to give the lads a bit of stability in the dressing room. So look, nothing's changing now. Get your heads down. Get 3 points Tuesday, Saturday, and this Saturday. But it just felt that maybe that wasn't stability. Maybe they're looking a little bit like we're a game and a half away from 3 games. What's going on? What happens after Great Valley? And I don't think that was a bad judgment by myself. But I think it's okay to look at things and go, actually, we need to act. And it wasn't the performance that made me go, right, we need to jump. It was we need to bring a couple in. And if you're trying to bring a couple of players in, you need to know who the gaffer is, right? If I'm a player, I'm not signing for Hastings if I don't know who the manager is. Because I could sign tomorrow, Saturday a new guy comes in, he doesn't fancy me as a player, I'm out the door. It's a waste of time. So we looked at it a little bit, and by the way, Brownie could have been, after those 2 games, I didn't have no faith in Brownie drop from my end. I think he's a very diligent coach. I think he can get any team on that pitch sparking the tune. I think his ideas of what we need, match Gary's ideas of what we need, and he could have been the manager. And I think a lot of people would have liked that. I think some people would have gone, oh, you've gone for a young manager, maybe we need experience. Brownie ultimately turned around to me and said, look, this is what we want. If we're here, this is what we want. We're coming to you as applicants, as Gary, Brownie, John Meany. And that was taken into consideration really. That collective, I actually don't think the title's on Jack. I'm not saying it's getting, of course, I'm not saying but that's what I mean. I actually think they mean nothing. Right? I think that collective, whilst Gary Elphick's name bang on the door as manager, I think all 3 of those will be so key. I mean, look, you've got to remember Gary's running on that pitch. So Brownie and Meany are going to be on the sideline running things, right? So Brownie could have been new manager Andrew Brown. It could have really been that. It could have been new manager John Meany. It's a collective that we brought into, and I think the reason we made the decision now is because we want to go in this weekend with that, not with what's going to happen. No, we're open, we're honest, this is who we are, this is what we're about, and we're going to win Saturday. And that's the way, and that's the mentality around it. We've installed a management team with that same mentality. But I don't think we ran out of ideas, I think we ran out of personnel. That's what I think on the weekend. I think if you looked at the team, it just felt flat.
It definitely looked short.
Yeah. So probably I think we've needed 1 or 2 for the last 6-7 weeks, which hasn't been dealt with in that time. So we'll deal with that, definitely. And that's not getting people out the doors to get people in. We're out to what we've got.
Cheers for your time, Billy.
No, that's all right. That's all right. No one asked about the new ground. Fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah.
On that note, quickly, the council had said that they're meant to be, we should be going to the 8th of December planning meeting, right? And if they don't hold their end of the bargain, we'll be kicking up a huge fuss. We've been quiet for too long, we've been patient for too long. This project's got to happen for this town. If they don't hold up their end of the bargain, I might run for council next year, so it's a simple journey. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. Are we having an intermission now?
Right then, well, obviously we move on to supports club matters.
No.
We've got some questions here. Is there any questions out there that anyone wants to throw at us? No? No? Right. So, should we do these? Yeah, right. So we have a few questions here. We've got end of season day trips for supporters club members. I don't know if that's something that anyone's interested in. End of season doing a day trip supporters club wise. I mean, is there any traction in that? Would people be up for that? Is it some away day somewhere?
I suggested like with that question. I said that the supporters club go into the non-league FA bars and all that, being it's a Wembley just for a day out for a group like all the supporters club.
Yeah. I definitely look at interest in that, to be fair. There's not much who love non-league football to go in that. You can definitely look into it without a doubt and just work out something what the options are.
You have a look at that then.
See if we can go to the FA Trophy or find
I'll tell you what, before we get into this, is there any money groans? Is there anything that you think we should be doing? Is there anything, we'll come along today, which is lovely. Is there anything that you think that we should be doing? Anything that we're doing really well?
The online stuff's good.
Online stuff's good.
Yeah, it's great, yeah. More and more people follow in that way.
What, the podcast now?
Yeah, it's all good stuff, yeah. Keep it up.
And hosting's a bit of work, but apart from that,
Who?
the host maybe.
Oh yeah, don't need to go on there, right? Yeah. But,
as for events and things like that, obviously this season we've had a quiz, we've had a few darts, days after women's games. So any other events that you want us to put on? If you think maybe, yeah, I really do that, darts isn't for me, so anything we can entice you to?
Maybe Paul?
Because ultimately, our aim as a supporters club, we want to do as much as we can for you guys to make your whole experience at Hastings United the best. But anything we raise, we will donate a portion of that money to the football club, so we can actually directly help what happens on the pitch. So the more we raise, the better thing we can get out there. So the more events that we can put on, the more we can get you to. It's going to benefit everyone, really.
so like this season, obviously we're doing, which was decided at the AGM, but I'm sure we'll do that. It was for the pre-academy, which is like the 3 to 6 year olds, that we're going to give some money towards equipment and things like that. That's what's going to happen at the end of the season. This season, we're going to give some money. So it's like, and obviously the next AGM, that would be like, obviously we've got to come along again, and we can decide like, where we're going to put this. You know, it's going to have the most impact. You know, it's not just a sort of first team out, it'll be like for this team, maybe for, you know, if there's any sort of like walking football, anything, you know, it's going to get everyone talking about Hastings United, you know, spreading that love, you know, so, I mean, something that we didn't really touch on with Billy, but like for myself, I think we don't advertise this club well enough around town. There's nothing you know, boots or whatever, you know, way bigger. But like, you know, it says that everyone wears a Hastings shirt in Hastings. That isn't true. It's like we want that to happen. We want that. We want more stuff around the town, posters up, things like that. I mean, there's all sorts of things we could throw in on. You know,
But on that, we produced a flyer with pictures on.
Yeah.
The club didn't know about it, it's nothing to do with them. Adam's been there designing it. So we're trying our bits to advertise the games. So touching on what Billy got asked about advertising more, we're doing our bit. So if there's other things that maybe you think, okay, well that will get big games.
Well, somebody's doing something right when you look at the gates. The gates are sensational.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they've gone up everywhere because everybody's getting their football fix again. And I think a lot of people who couldn't get to Championship and Premier League games when COVID was biting, they went and watched their local semi-pro side, and some of them have stuck with that. Which is great. But the gates here, they've got the numbers speak for themselves, aren't they?
Well, you look at when we go to Corinthians on Saturday, we have more for our women's than they have for their men.
Well,
you know, so that shows that as a town we're doing.
I mean, our lowest gate this season is 710.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd never have thought that.
No.
So somebody's doing something right. So.
Twice so far we've had the biggest non-league crowd in here throughout the whole of non-league.
Yeah.
Twice that's happened. Yeah. But like,
who's responsible for clearing the seats up in the stand? I would just like to make a point that where we sit on that side, we take a cloth now because people, not just local, but from the other team, they come and they don't want to sit there because there's bird mess and there's, you know, okay, your little bit in the middle is pristine, ours is not, so we bring our own cloth. But we don't want to do that to people that come from away and say, look, can we clean that for you? They go to sit down and it really, there's puddles and bird mess. So could you, whoever does the cleaning of the middle bit, could they just do that other little bit over
We
there?
will ask. I mean, the first answer to that is come and stand behind the goal with us.
yeah, I've heard what they chant though. I don't think they, you know, we're all too innocent. Yeah, we're all too innocent back behind the goal. Well, what I will do, obviously part of the committee and that, and because I come to every Sunday game with the women, I'm always here early, so I'll go up there and have a clean up anyway.
I mean, we don't mind bringing a cloth, but it's not very nice to have to hand a wet cloth to somebody.
Exactly.
One supporter from the other team sat down, when he got up, I mean, he really got a wet patch.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I don't want to come here anymore, this is, you know.
That's what it's going to, exactly. Yeah, no, that's fine. I've made a note of that. And
small bit on the end.
Yeah.
You know, the other end.
Exactly, that's it. Yeah, no, I'll do that. I'll come down and on a Sunday. I can't do it on a Saturday because I always have my kids.
It's your programme, it's your wet one.
Just try.
Yeah. No, I'll do that on a Sunday, definitely.
Thank you very much.
I've got a message from Steve Wallace. He said his only observation is that he feels there's a lot of unwarranted chanting at the opposition goalies that doesn't do the team any good, and us being an inclusive family club shouldn't be calling players fatties. So, what do we think about that?
It's a fair point, I think.
Yeah.
Last couple of seasons ago, we were hosting White Walk, and at half time I went to get a cup of tea, and the guy behind me was a White Walk fan, and he actually asked the lady in the kiosk serving, he said, do your fans always swear that much? And I felt like saying, yeah, they do. She didn't know what to say.
Whitstable a few seasons ago, the goalkeeper had enough and hit one of them, didn't he? It was a punch up behind the goal.
Banter's fair enough, sometimes it's a bit
you know, you can put up with banter, but if you're a goalkeeper, you're going to get it because you've got the fans right behind you.
Yeah.
But there's banter, and it's just foul.
I think that this is
throwing beer at him a few seasons ago. I haven't done that.
too expensive.
Yeah, no, the prices of beer's gone up. They're going to do it.
As someone who stands behind the goal, I mean, I won't let people do that.
Yeah, they haven't done it for a couple of years, but I mean, as I said, the Whitstable game a few seasons ago was disgraceful. Not that some of the Whitstable fans were little angels either.
I was at the game where there was a rookie thrown on the pitch. There was a rookie thrown on the pitch. It was a 3G pitch. I can't remember where.
A firework.
Rookie.
It's, you know, bonfire night. They like to come and film, they just go bang. That's a rookie.
I
I've talked about it before at Supporters Club Committee. I think it's difficult, to be fair to the guys sat here, I think it's very difficult for us to figure out a way that we can really influence that happening. I think that's down to the club. The club has its own clear rules. In fact, there's a list of the club rules written on the wall. I think just as you go to the loo out there. So I think, you know, if we, I think as a supporters club, we do have an obligation, obviously, to pass your comments on to the club. But ultimately, the job of policing that has to be the club's and not ours.
I'm not policing the club.
And the responsibility has to be the club's. And if the club want to take that on, then they want to decide how they do that. Whether they want to empower stewards to do that, or how they want to do that. But we should.
I mean, there is a line.
Take that to the club and say, look, that is responsible.
Screening abuse. But if I see Robbie running around going about mine's when you put it, I don't take that as that's offensive to me. But
I'm not really, with respect, interested in having that debate about what it is and it's not. What I'm saying is that the decision about what happens about if that happens has to lie with the club.
Yeah.
we're not.
So we can write, yeah, we'll raise that.
It doesn't matter.
If we've got someone coming out with racist abuse or anything like that, we will self-police that.
No, of course.
That's straight away, right? Or something. You don't get it. We don't really get that, do we? I mean, we don't.
It's not personal.
Other than getting the goalkeeper's girlfriend's name and.
I think the thing to understand
All I'm saying is that people feel strongly enough about it and they should address those concerns to the club. Because it's the club that's responsible for.
Yeah, but obviously it's been raised up to us so we can then forward that to the club. So, and then we can obviously then send out a response from them as an official statement and take it from there. So we will raise it up with the club.
I mean, do we think though that, do you think that, because you were saying before guys ago that this was a few years ago, do you think that the fact that the attendances have been rising because that's died down? Because the attendances have been rising over a number of years.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
overall, it's the basic views of the club has changed since Ray took over as well. That's really made a difference. But yeah, probably that is a contributing factor. I mean, nobody wants to stop the guys coming here being, you know, over-policed or whatever. It's just occasionally they go over the top of the swear. And it, you know, they do go crazy.
Especially if you want to promote it as a family.
You're talking about it being about you're talking about being a family club, and some of the languages. Say, you're talking about being a family club, and some of the language is burning the paint off the buildings. And there's little kids running around. So, I don't know, where do you draw the line?
It's pretty much the same thing. You're saying if you want to advertise it as a family club, you know, a lot of people want to put off by bringing their family when there's sort of language like that flying around.
You're going to get bad language at football match, but you don't
No,
need to.
there's levels.
You don't need to hear 50 people shouting it out at the top of their voice. You know? You're going to get sweared. The referee never has a mother and father, do they?
Moving on.
Mascots at home games. Whose suggestion was that? What are we talking? Hastings United mascot or Guinea mascot?
Oh, I like dressed up in the lion.
That was the geezer. That was the geezer that was here that he couldn't come off.
So if you don't say you just say fire around.
I've asked him a couple of times, and I've always got we're ordering one, but that's as far as it got. So
yeah, I think they've all been given the same answer.
So the mascot, what they say, they've asked Billy, and he keeps saying no. Okay. So,
by the way, I am making notes on here of everything. I'm recording and making notes, so we'll chase that up.
yeah. Alright, we'll chase up that mascot. Alright?
We still have the seagull costume that looks like a duck.
I think both the seagulls are up in a social club somewhere, waiting to be buried.
Stephen.
We've got here about the darts and pool. I did try and get us entered, but there's a shove. Does anyone play shove? Does anyone know what shove is?
Yeah, shove over.
Yeah. There was a shove and darts league. Because I usually have a beer in the months. There's a big shove and darts league, but at that point, we were just sort of possibly going to be a darts team, wouldn't we?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to have news there, Romans.
I think we've got to think seriously about the local teams, because that's our outreach, isn't it? Going to games that we've got out of pubs, give out leaflets and say, come and watch our games. That's our opportunity there, isn't it? To do our outreach to places where perhaps there are people who wouldn't necessarily
Robbie, I've put the dance team, Hastings dance team in them to join the league. Is that something that you'd be interested in organising?
It's something to look into,
Music events, once a month with bands or even karaoke. We can certainly look into that. Obviously, bands cost money, so we don't mind. You know, if someone wants a band, if it's £500, if you're all going to pay 10, 15, £20 a ticket, we will do it. Obviously, we haven't got an endless pot of money that we can pay for it. So if there is a demand for it, then we can definitely put it on.
We can always arrange a karaoke night there, have karaoke on there and people singing. And
yeah, I mean, you know,
Sam does Elvis.
I love karaoke.
We can get Elvis down.
Yeah, Elvis,
I'm there.
Elvis in the building.
yeah. Okay, I'll make a note of that.
I was at home last week.
Pardon?
Yeah,
Well, we went there for 3 at one point, so yeah. But I don't know if I dropped the signal because my signal keeps jumping in and out. So.
Any other questions?
Is there going to be a Christmas party this year?
We are looking into it. We've got a couple of dates that this place is free. I think it's 17th and 18th of December is what we're restricted to. So we are looking into that if there's going to be a need for that. I mean, obviously that's not going to cost anyone anything. You know, the bar's here, we're going to put some music. So if people are interested, we will do that.
Are people interested?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get, yeah.
I've got to work still that day.
Okay.
We'll figure it
17.
I'm away again.
Well, the club have been known to put their own bar, so I don't know whether it's their temporary bigger first. He didn't mention it, nobody thought it was. Yeah.
They normally do it a year.
Right then. Unless anyone's got anything to raise, we'll leave it at that.
Well done.
Well done, gentlemen.
Well done. Thank you for coming.
This one on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goodbye.